I think somebody want to make a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
Maybe on that one, if you could check what we did last year,
I'll second.
Okay. So the first order of business is the 139, 141 Cardinal Street.
Well, before we get to that, I'm just going to call the roll. Now, again,
Oh, okay, right. This is Zoom.
let all the viewers know this is the Springfield Conservation Commission meeting for August 8th. So I'm going to call the roll. Commissioner Collins.
Here.
Commissioner Collins.
I don't even know how the market.
Commissioner Collins is absent. Commissioner Martinez.
Here.
Commissioner Alminas.
Yeah.
Yeah, today it was down again a little bit.
Anyone who has their mic on, can you please mute your mic? Okay, Commissioner Alminas is absent. Miller.
Not at all. But anyway, so I took early on. And then I took the other two.
I have no sound.
All right, Commissioner Miller.
If you said Miller, here.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Jones.
Here.
And Commissioner Ryan.
Oh, wait. That world?
Here,
Thank
it's
you.
mute itself.
Commissioner Bongiorni.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Ryan, thank you. Thank you. All right, we're all set.
Okay. So we do have the public hearing opened, and the first order of business is the Cardinal 139 and 141 Cardinal Street. And that's a certificate of compliance. I assume the work has been done. Do we have
Yes.
somebody here?
Yes, we're here.
Okay,
Perfumes.
so the work has been done.
The work was done back in probably the late 2007.
Uh-huh.
And that was our first experience with the Conservation Commission. We assumed that the gentleman that we hired to oversee the conservation part of it had taken care of it and closed out the order of conditions. We even sold a piece of property that's listed 143, 145 Cardinal, which is actually closer to the wetlands area. We sold that piece of property in May of 2008 this never came up at that point in time. So we're actually getting ready to sell 139, 141, and it popped up and we were surprised by it.
Right. So that happens sometimes when something is done, and when a property is being sold, those things do pop up. Alvin, I don't know if anybody has, obviously somebody must have been there when this was first done. So this is probably just something clear that has to be voted on now so that they can continue and sell their property?
That is correct.
Right. So should we vote on that?
Yes, you may.
Okay. So would somebody make a motion to vote on the certificate of compliance for 139, 141 Cardinal Street?
I'll make a motion to vote the certificate of compliance on 139, 141 Cardinal Street.
Do you have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay.
Juanita, can we review that again?
Sure.
So what about the certificate is how old was it renewed?
Well, yes. I don't know. What was the date on that?
Bill?
The certificate is dated May 3rd of 2007.
2007. So probably what happened when they first bought it, it was completed and then, that could have even been on part of a group lot. I don't know if yours is part of that.
It
And,
was, there were
Right,
three-
and these things sort of pop up when somebody is selling the house.
When I calculated it, they could
Okay.
say they were.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Self-employment.
You said it was part of a group lot?
Yeah, sometime, I'm assuming that's what it was when I looked I checked out the area online, and it is part of it was a group of houses built in that area, am I right?
Yes, there were actually, at that time, there were 3 duplexes built. The one that actually has the wetlands on it is 151, 153. Now we're the farthest duplex away from that wetlands area, but because they were all built at the same time, they all had to
Right.
be under that same order.
So what happens usually is the contractor, because some of the property is on wetland, all the houses get those restrictions. And even though they may not even be within the 100-foot of the wetland. And my guess is that's what this one is.
Correct, it's just outside of the 100 feet.
Okay. Do the petitioners own the property that is in question?
We do.
Is it adjacent to your property? I wish I'd pulled up the map on this. Okay.
I'm gonna pull up a GIS map.
Mrs. Pafumi, is it adjacent to your property? That which is for sale?
The one that is for sale is ours, 139 and 141. We're under contract to sell it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's a duplex. That's why the 2 numbers. Get it?
Yes.
Okay. So,
I second the motion. Did we have a motion to accept it? Yeah.
yeah, the motion was seconded. I think we just have to vote on it now. To issue them, right? Alvin, would you do the roll call for the vote?
May I ask one question?
Sure.
The 139 Cardinal, is it under the Perfumes, is it under the home, is it under your name or a trust or a licensee or a corporation?
It is, hang on just a second. I think it might be. It is under our business, Source 9 Development.
Okay, thank you. I just was looking it up on the GIS and the public record, and I didn't see your name on it, so I just wanted to make sure, but I do see Source 9, so it's definitely their property.
Does anybody else have any more questions?
That's it for me.
Okay, so then I think we can take a vote. Alvin, should,
Yeah, I'll read the roll. So in favor, Commissioner Martinez,
yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes,
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Ryan,
Oh, yes.
and Commissioner Bonjour.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And the next is the one, wait a minute, let me just pull it up on,
If I could
Oh.
just ask one quick question, excuse
Yes.
me. So do we go down to the planning board to pick up that certificate of compliance?
Yes, we will have something for you, in the next few days. My director, he'll print it out for you. He will be out tomorrow, but, probably either later this week or early next week, we'll have that document for you.
When will they be
Okay.
ready? When will they be ready to be signed? Alvin, do you know?
Later this week, Phil's actually out sick, so.
Oh, okay.
But, as soon as he gets back, he'll put it together and then we'll contact everyone to come in and sign.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate all your time.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, but the one on Oak Brook Drive, I just saw. So it's a partial certificate of compliance. And Alvin, I'm sorry, I don't know anything about this one.
All right, so it's a development that's on the south side of Oak Brook Drive, which is completely in East Long Meadow. I guess maybe a portion of the development was also on the north side of the road, which portions of the north side of the road are actually in Springfield. The houses themselves are in East Long Meadow. However, the rear lots are actually within East Long Meadow, and to the rear of those lots, there is a body of water. However, I believe this lot that's in question is actually on the south side of the street, which is far from the actual wetland.
So this
However,
one is not in the wetland at all within?
not at all.
Okay.
But I'll let whoever is petitioning, I'll let them speak for it.
Is there somebody here to speak for it?
Yes, my name is Brittany Rivera. I'm the paralegal for attorney Niles Corshane.
And I'm just sorry. I'm sorry about not knowing about this one. So if you could speak to it.
Yes, so my clients are selling their home, or they actually already sold it. We're doing a holdback for this transaction. Their property was included in the whole development that was done by American Classes Inc. in 1989. And unfortunately, this development was included our property that's very far away from the wetlands. The wetlands looks like it's on Angel Street and Linwood Drive, and that's a good distance away from Oak Brook Drive. So yeah, it's just unfortunately included in that lump of property. But yeah, we just need this partial release in order to complete our transaction.
And this was part of a development as well?
Correct. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so
there's several properties or several lots included.
Okay. And this one is not within the 100 feet of a wetland?
Yeah, absolutely not. I'm looking at the GIS right now. It's very far away.
Okay. Okay. So it sounds pretty much like the one we just had.
Yes.
So I think we just, anybody want to make a motion to for a partial certificate of compliance for the property on 64 Oak Brook Drive in East Long Meadow?
I'll make a motion for a partial certificate of compliance for the property known as 64 Oakbrook Drive in East Long Meadow.
Second,
I'll second it.
does anybody have any questions?
I do not.
Well, and Alvin, if you would do a roll call for
Yeah,
voting?
okay, before the petition, Commissioner Bongiorni,
Yes.
Commissioner Ryan,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes,
and Commissioner Martinez.
Yes. So we need a motion to close the public hearing.
Move to close the public hearing.
A second.
Second.
Okay. Alvin, do we have to vote on that to close the public hearing?
No, there's
Okay.
no public here.
Okay.
Yes.
And then the next one again, I'm sorry, but I did not look at this one either. So it's the request for determination of applicability for Eversource. And is there anybody here is that you, Melissa? Are you
Yes, good
speaking
evening.
on it?
Melissa Cody from Ty and Bond on behalf of Eversource. If it's acceptable to the commission, I'd like to share my screen.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so let's make sure. Can folks see a map on my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Map of Springfield. So this is a request for determination of applicability for the advancement of some geotechnical borings at and in the river adjacent to the Clinton substation on Clinton Street, which is a parcel that abuts the Connecticut River. It's in the vicinity of this locus indicator right here with the 1. It is north of the Memorial Bridge, north of the train trestle, across the river, south of the North End Bridge, if that helps orient folks. The other 2 indicators here signify the proposed launch locations for the geotechnical borings in the river as points of reference. So I'm going to switch to an aerial photo here that shows the approximate locations of the proposed borings, both in the river and at the Clinton substation. Contrary to normal map orientation, the river is flowing, the direction of flow is toward the top of the page. So Springfield is on the left, West Springfield is on the right. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit, I hope, to make it a little easier to see. So these borings are proposed to collect geotechnical information to design a horizontal directional drill. It's a trenchless construction technology. Right now, there is an existing underground transmission line, electric utility transmission line that goes from the Clinton substation under the Connecticut River to the end of Bell Avenue in West Springfield, and then continues over to the West Springfield substation. This is a high pressure fluid filled pipe type cable. So that technology was available at the time this was constructed. I believe this one was in the 1950s. However, that technology is no longer, it's aging out. It's not, there's better technology available, and the manufacturers are no longer going to be supporting this. So as the infrastructure reaches the end of its useful life, the goal is to replace it with a cross-linked polyethylene cable to maintain the circuit and service here. However, in order to do that, we can't just replace it where the existing one is, and we can't replace it through the existing conduit. We have to keep that in service, and Eversource has to construct a new alignment. So there are 2 alignments being evaluated, one that skews toward the Boys and Girls Club on the West Springfield side, and the other that skews toward the end of Chapin Street on the West Springfield side. So roughly the 2 series here and the 1 series here. The goal is to ultimately design a construction methodology that does not disturb the river. And that is the horizontal directional drilling that I mentioned initially. But in order to do that, they need to understand basically the soil profile, the geologic profile below the river and adjacent to the substation. So the request to the commission is to request a negative determination for a barge to launch from ideally the boathouse at the North End Bridge, float down the river, they're called spuds. They're essentially 3 points that anchor to the bottom, lower and anchor to the bottom, and then advance a fully cased boring in the vicinity of these locations in the water. So it would be in Springfield, it would be 4 locations in the water. And then within the 100-foot buffer zone, in the road adjacent to Clinton substation, there would be 1 in that area, and then the others are outside wetlands jurisdiction. We've already presented to the West Springfield Conservation Commission. They granted a negative determination. And that paperwork is pending. We're also coordinating with other agencies such as the Corps of Engineers and Natural Heritage. So I guess these borings would go to a depth of up to 70 feet. Again, the horizontal directional drill, the goal is to keep it 40 feet below the riverbed, which is exceptionally deep compared to what we believe is about 3 feet of cover over the pipe that the crossing they constructed originally.
So this would go down and then across?
So we're not there
When you
yet.
say horizontal, I'm
So-
confused.
So these are vertical, and these are intended to collect information on the soil profile
Right.
so that they can design the horizontal directional drilling.
Oh,
Wait.
because a boring is straight down, but,
Right,
okay,
so-
so it's just to see where it would go across.
And what it has to go through so that they design it with the
Oh, okay.
appropriate means and methods. Ultimately, when they design and construct the horizontal directional drilling, there will be well outside the river, there will be sending and receiving pits, and they'll go in at an angle and achieve their maximum depth before they're even below the river.
I see.
Um,
And when do you propose to start on this project?
So this could be, this ideally would be essentially late September, October, maybe even November of this year. There are other regulatory considerations on the environmental side. I mentioned we're coordinating with the Corps of Engineers because this is a Section 10 navigable waterway. We're coordinating with Natural Heritage because of state listed species in the river. This hatched area, this kind of tan area here, is where we've already conducted very detailed mussel surveys. There are state listed species of mussels in the river. So those will be, we will expand our survey area to encompass this last location. Granted, it's the West Springfield side, and then up to the area of proposed borings on the Springfield side as well. Mussels located in those areas will be translocated. So they'll basically be documented and moved outside the radius at each location. And that will be under Natural Heritage approval. They're reviewing these as species protection plans. And then with a mussel translocation plan, there's always a prescribed follow-up to check on the translocation areas and the numbers that can be re-recovered in that vicinity for usually a couple years.
And West Springfield has already given you a negative.
Correct. A negative determination. They applied a few conditions, such as 24-hour emergency contacts for the driller, and this part of the project in general. They are requiring a pre-construction emergency sort of action plan. If there were a sudden change in conditions in the river, what is the contractor's plan to secure or evacuate to avoid periods of high flow and major storm events in the forecast.
Which we know now can happen all the time.
This summer especially, yeah.
I know. Does anybody have any questions?
No.
No.
Yeah. The only thing, Alvin, I mean, I feel I would be more comfortable, talking to Chris about this, but probably it would go the way West Springfield did, but, because I haven't, read up on this before, I think I'd be more comfortable, talking to Chris.
Yep, that's fine.
Yeah.
Does anybody else
No,
have,
I agree with you, Juanita.
okay,
With being pretty new, I would be worried about things that might be
Right.
above my knowledge right now. So I would definitely would want to see what, see what
Right.
Chris weigh in on this.
I mean, more than likely it was, I mean, when the project that's further downstream, when they did the borings, it was, I'm sure this is going to be fine, but I think I would be more comfortable talking to Chris, since I really haven't, read up on this one.
If I could, so when each of the borings will be fully cased, which means enclosed.
Uh-huh,
So there won't be mud spinning into the river.
yeah, I know,
And then the drillings, the material that does come up, they're going to take a 2-foot split spoon. Sam, it's called a split spoon. They auger 5 feet usually, drive the split spoon 2 feet, pull that up, evaluate the material in it, and then they advance the augers another. They just kind of keep building the depth, and taking those samples at 0 to 2, 5 to 7, 9 to 11. My brain's
Right,
trying to do the math. And then all the drilling spoils will be returned through the casing to the hole. It'll be settled, and then they'll move to the next.
okay.
Melissa,
And as I said, probably all will go the way West Springfield did. I'm sure of that, but I just would like to talk to Chris.
Melissa, are these in phases? And what is this the first phase exploratory? This is the first phase.
Yes, these are exploratory borings, collecting data to design the project. We don't
And
know.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, the detailed design relies on this information in order for the engineers to flesh that out.
Okay, I heard you say 40 feet down, which is quite exploration. How then the pipes will be going horizontally across the river?
Yes.
At what depth?
So the borings will go up to 70 feet. It depends on the location. There's a figure. Let me get there for you here.
The borings are done so that they'll know where to go horizontally.
Yeah.
Right. So this is in the RDA package the commission received. So the Alt 1 alignment, which is the slightly northern the northern of the two alignments, ranges from 50 to 75 feet in depth. And this is the anticipated, this is a very conceptual schematic view of, this is the Springfield side. This is the West Springfield side. Did I get that right? I'm sorry. I apologize. I had that backwards here. So this is the Springfield side. This is the West Springfield side. And so they would basically, when they do a horizontal directional drilling, they start in a pit and they achieve maximum depth. And it will be in a casing when they do that boring, when they do that construction as well. And so yeah. And then I'll go to the next page just in case there's slightly different information. So at the river, the borings are 50 to 75 feet in the southern alignment as well.
And does anybody else have a question for Melissa? Okay, so what we'll do is we'll vote on it at the next meeting. And then we will let you know.
And is that next meeting August 22nd?
Alvin, is that?
Give me just a moment, let me look at on the calendar. Yes, that will be the 22nd.
Okay. All right. Well,
Okay,
thank you all so much for your time. We will see you on the
Okay.
22nd then.
thank you. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. I don't think there's anything else. Do you have anything else, Alvin?
I don't have anything else, but Phil told me that there would be someone on the call for something under all other matters. I'm not sure if someone has a public speak out.
Oh, Cheryl, are you here for? You're muted.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. I'm here because I live on the edge of LaBelle Drive Conservation Area. And I spoke with Phil a couple of times, and he said that there's no money to do anything as far as caring for the conservation areas. And it's a beautiful place, but it's become terribly overgrown. You can't even see the sign any longer. And to get into the conservation area, I have to go across somebody's yard to get into it. So I don't think that that's the way it should be. The neighbors, we all have some concerns and have some questions about, what we could do. Would we be able to go into the conservation area and start chopping things down and cleaning up the paths? Can we do that?
well, actually, no, you really can't. You need permission for that. But there is, money in the CPA.
There's
And
money?
yes,
I was
there
told there
is.
was no money.
No, not in the Conservation Commission, but if you go through the CPA with the
Nope.
Conservation Commission,
Okay.
there is money. And
Okay.
actually in September, there is a new round. We just finished the 2023 distribution of money, and there's a new one that will begin in September. So, are you working through your neighborhood or your community council?
Just people in my neighborhood.
People in your neighborhood.
Yes. Yeah. I didn't know. I had no idea where. I just thought the Conservation Commission, because it is conservation area, and we have some concerns. Can I run them by you?
Sure.
Okay. First of all, the sign is at the end of LaBelle Drive, to the entry of it, and it's completely overgrown. You can't even see it. If you didn't know it was there,
What's the name of this conservation?
LaBelle Drive.
LaBelle Drive Conservation Area?
Yes, it's right off. It's off of. There's a sign on Tinkham Road. If you go down Pencastle Street, and you take a left onto Cali, and then a right onto LaBelle, it'll bring you right up. It's a dead end, and that's where the sign is. And the total, I believe, is 19 and a half acres. Runs into Wilbraham, and it's become very overgrown. We have people, it says on the sign that you can't see, no motor allowed. And people go in with their dirt bikes. And on Sunday, there was a man with his two kids on an ATV. So I think that, we'd like to have no motorized. Oh, are you finding us?
Did somebody just, yeah. Did you put that up?
I can,
I put up the screen.
Oh, good. Thank you.
yes, this is, let me see, 1, 2, 3. I think this is my house right here. Oh, you can't see that? Can you see my?
Right now.
I'm, okay, I'm the L-shaped ramp. You go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 houses from the right side of the end of LaBelle. And that's my house on the right-hand side of Garnett Street. That's it, right? Go down one more. That's me. So I cut through the yard of the house to the right of the entry. You know, they let me walk through there, and then to achieve entry to a pathway. But it's very much overgrown. And then I don't know if you can see, but on this side of the fence, you see a lot of stuff back there. The second house over from the street, from LaBelle Drive, that's become a personal dump for the people that live in that house.
I
Yeah,
can see it, yeah.
yeah.
So again, they're on conservation land. Yeah,
And they have a car, a lot of stuff, and as time passes, the pile is worse. Are you losing me? It says I'm on.
yeah, just a
Okay.
little, you were coming in choppy. I mean, unfortunately, right now, we don't have a staff person to go and check, but I would actually, just because I'm also on the CPA committee, I would like to meet with you and maybe some of your neighbors, just to walk the area to see if there is something that could be some money that you could get some money from the CPA to clean up, to help with the trails.
Mhm.
So actually, yeah, there it is. There's the beginning, right?
Yes, but it doesn't look, everything. I'm looking, that garage that you just showed
Mhm.
is that being built, that garage was established a long time ago.
Mhm.
And this house is owned by different people. It doesn't look like that at all.
Mhm.
And the house that has all the stuff behind the fence looks very different. Actually, yeah, the Garrison is the one with all the stuff behind the fence. This house
Okay.
is different today than it was then.
Well,
But you can't-
if you call the Conservation Commission office and leave your name and phone number, I will be in touch with you, because we haven't, we've only done one conservation area through CPA, and it would be interesting to do another one.
Oh, that
So
would be
if you would do that, if you would leave your name and I will get back to you.
Can I do that in chat?
Oh, yes. Okay, do it in chat to me, Juanita Martinez.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
Juanita,
because I know Phil has all my information. I had given it to him.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
Phil,
then, you know what? I will get it through Phil.
I'll send it to you. That's okay. I'd
Okay.
love to take a walk with you through the conservation area. I love it back there.
Okay.
Juanita, because it's a conservation area, is this a code enforcement? I mean, most of code enforcement is the exterior, the tree belt, the grass, the snow, snow and the front of a house. Because it's
Right, but that would
conservation-
be a code enforcement, the one with the dumping, absolutely.
Cheryl, are your neighbors comfortable with letting code enforcement know your disappointment in them respecting the conservation area?
Something, this has been troubling me for a long time, but I've reached a point where I spoke to Laura yesterday, and I said, people shouldn't have to walk across your property to get into the conservation area.
Mhm.
And so I said, so I told her that I had been speaking with Phil, and I was going to be attending this this meeting this evening. So she said, let me know. And she had a list, like I gave her the list of things that I wanted to discuss. And it was let me see. It was the access, the sign, the dumping, the trails aren't marked, and the ATV, and hers was the ATVs. She walks by back there with her 2-year-old. And she said, having these vehicles go speeding around is not something that's safe. Juanita, is it only my phone number that you want, or do you need my email as well?
Yeah, phone number.
Okay, got that.
Well, thank you, Cheryl.
You're welcome. And I don't know, I don't know, who would I get in touch with about the dumping?
The Conservation Commission.
Oh, okay.
Being president of my civic association, a number of phone calls from concerned citizens is very effective at getting the attention of code enforcement, especially if this dumping is on a conservation area or even above.
But there's the man that lives, when we looked at the end of LaBelle where it showed the garage being built. I spoke with him and he said that he's called several times. And then there's another guy that lives 2 houses down from me, and he said that he's called. So I don't know, maybe calling isn't if calling isn't the right thing, maybe we should be sending letters. I just don't, the thing is I don't think people have mentioned it to Dave, the guy that's doing it, and he just smiles. He doesn't think it's okay. He just does it. You should see the front of his yard now. It's getting to be as bad as the back behind the fence.
Code enforcement is understaffed as well as ourselves, but a number of phone calls over a number of weeks or months. It's a good department. They're very effective, and they keep a very effective list. It's worth pursuing.
Oh, I've called 311 with questions before. Okay, so, and what was that? Code enforcement?
That's correct.
Yeah, you're leaving a message for code enforcement. Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Well, this has been interesting. And all of that drilling, how do you guys arrive at whether or not you're going to approve it for Eversource?
Well, it's just interpreting the laws of the Conservation Commission, and if it's not affecting anything, and then it happens. I mean, we're just here to interpret the law.
Right,
You
right.
you
The
respect
Wetland Protection Act, actually.
you respect the engineers. And the environmental protection agencies and everything that we can do to investigate it. It probably is necessary with a deteriorating cable and all, and so it's a reasonable request. We just make sure that it doesn't harm wetlands, the river.
That's just it, because the river is so compromised right now with the weather that
That would have been one of my questions if we'd pursue this. Yeah.
Yeah, because, well, I know, and I mean, I lived and boated upriver, and I know that one of the things that they was concerned with, I don't know how, if there's sturgeon in the water, and thought about when anything was going to happen.
Well, thank you, Cheryl, for your concerns, and we will be in touch.
Juanita, I appreciate that. Thank you all so much. It was good. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alvin, is there any more?
That is all. So if you'd like to adjourn, I can take a roll call.
Does somebody want to make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
No. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Okay. Do we have to vote on this, Alvin? But just raise your hand if you say yes.
All in favor?
All in favor? Aye.
All right,
All right, thank you, guys.
All right,
thank
thanks, everyone.
you.
See you later.
Good night.